Mic check, mic check. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, everybody, good afternoon to people in the Midwest. Good afternoon to people in the East Coast, and good morning to the people out west. This is TNT Joe-Fi, tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. Today, we are talking about tech news that I find interesting, that I also have not yet read about, but pulled up articles and felt like it would be necessary, absolutely necessary, to sit here and read this news with you guys and share that information and engage and have a conversation. That's what this show is about. This is a learning experience for me, and hopefully for you guys as well. Sorry, I am a little late today. I'm just a little late. I have no excuse there, but hopefully everyone's doing well today. It is a windy, overcast day here in Chicago. Oh, okay. There was no music. Well, anyway, sorry. I thought there was music playing in the title screen. I guess not. I don't know. So, well connected says talk Latin. So here's the thing. Unless you're not talking to me and you're talking to Six, I'm not Latin, so I'm Asian actually. So I can't do that for you. I'm sorry. But well connected. Thanks for making the stream. I haven't seen this name before, so if you're new, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. I see George in here too. Perfect timing. Just finished my bicycle ride. Hope it was a good ride. Hope your weather is a lot better than it is here. It's about 40-ish here in Chicago and really windy, so it's more like the 30s. Oh, there was music. George says there was music, so I don't know. Check your shit, Six. Six, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Brian, welcome to the stream. Hi, guys. Hope you're all doing well. So today, the first thing I want to talk about, the first thing I want to get into is the Google Pixel 4a. I actually have a ton of articles here about the 4a. This is something that I just saw this morning, so I pulled a bunch of them up just to see if there's any kind of differentiating facts, and we'll just pull all that together because I guess there are pictures of this retail packaging for the 4a, and it looks like it might be on its way for, I guess, retail purchase. So this article here from GSM Arena says it's been a while since we heard anything regarding the Pixel 4a, but this latest leak is about to change that. The retail packaging for the phone has ended up on Slash Leaks, which gives us a look at both the packaging as well as the phone itself. The packaging itself is nothing special. The design is identical to the Pixel 4 packaging, okay, with a simple white layout showing 2/3 of the back of the phone. So I wonder where this picture was taken at. I'm guessing distribution centers have received the item. And it also makes me wonder if Google is trying to beat Apple to the race here for the iPhone SE. I'm assuming so, because they know that this iPhone SE is probably underway and maybe they want to take that market before Google does. or they want to take that market. Yeah, Google wants to take that market before Apple releases their phone. It, I guess, in the way I'm thinking about it, it's a smart marketing move if they want to get ahead before Apple releases their iPhone SE. Um, I guess this is also nothing too surprising, right? We've seen a lot of leaks for the Pixel 4a, and it's going to have the square back, just a single rear camera, a single rear shooter. So, but that look at the back and the side of the phone shows things haven't changed much since the last time. You can see the square camera bump in the corner, mimicking the design of the most expensive Pixel 4, but only packing a single lens along with an LED flash, looking all lonely inside the square. The side of the phone shows the white colored power button on this black model. Really? Oh yeah, it's right here. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so kind of a panda design, not that much panda, but just the little white power button kind of gives it that little, I don't know, that little flair to a phone. So we are not sure anymore when this device will be released. It was expected that the phone would be announced at I/O 2020, but with that event being canceled, it's anyone's guess at this point when the Pixel 4a will be unveiled. So let me just move on to these other articles just to see if there's anything different here. Oh, and so here's another point: is there may not be an XL version. I don't know if any of you own a Pixel 3a XL. Most people that at least I've talked to or that I know who have a Pixel 3a, it's not many people, only have the 3a and not the XL version. So there have been rumors and leaks aplenty about the Google Pixel 4a, but they're starting to bubble up even more today. 9 to 5 Google published what it claims is a complete set of specs for the Pixel 4a. So yeah, let's actually get into those specs. Let's talk about what's in this phone. Let's talk about the price point and kind of let's compare it to the Pixel 4. And the Pixel 4 is the latest flagship from Google. I have been using this since well, I bought it when it first launched, and then I didn't use it for a while because my iPhone 11 Pro is better than my Pixel 4. Sorry, Android people, but that's the truth. But I have started using my Pixel 4 again as my daily driver this past week just to kind of revive it and I don't know, see if it's any better. So let's kind of continue on here. Most intriguing of all, it says that Google won't be releasing a Pixel 4a XL. The Pixel 4a will instead split the difference in size between the prior models with a 5.8-inch display that's a little larger than the 5.6-inch Pixel 3a, but slightly smaller than the 6-inch Pixel 3a XL. So yeah, kind of right in between. Most of what's reported aligns with what we've already heard about the 4a. Actually, let me make a point. My Pixel 4, it is for me, it's a pretty good form factor. It's a lot smaller than my iPhone 11 Pro, but after using my iPhone 11 Pro for a while, I kind of wish my Pixel 4 was a little bigger. The keyboard is kind of cramped up for me. I could use a bigger screen at this point. For me, I know there are a lot of people that still want smaller form factor phones, and actually, I've been a big proponent of smaller form factor phones for a while. But I really do enjoy just the size of the iPhone 11 Pro, and I don't know, I could use maybe just a little bigger form factor in this regard. So most of what's reported aligns with what we've already heard about the 4A, like that it will house the, so here we go with the specs. It's going to have a Snapdragon 730 processor, so not the top of the line processor, 6 gigs of RAM, which is more than I thought they were going to put into the 4A. I thought it was just going to have 4 gigs of RAM, but it'll have 6, and a single 12.2 megapixel rear facing lens. Now, the Pixel 4 has two lenses in the back, right? We have two, god damn it, I always put this the wrong way because I can't. We have two lenses. I'm trying to point my god, I just can't. Okay, two lenses in the back here, and one's a telephoto lens. And even though I don't use the telephoto lens much, part of the magic in the Pixel 4 is that second lens actually helping out with portrait shots. And not everybody's going to be a big portrait fan, but in my testing, if you guys haven't, I have, videos of that. I do a lot of photo compara. I do a lot of photo camera comparison video testing. And the portrait shots on the Pixel 4 are some of the best, if not the best that I've seen yet. And to lose, and a big help with that is that second lens. It helps with that depth because on my Pixel 3 with one lens, I wasn't able to get the best portrait shots. It was still a little soft. It couldn't get everything done. Like it couldn't find the depth properly. But on my Pixel 4, it does it great, better than my iPhone 11 Pro. That is the OnePlus that I've seen. The OnePlus. That's the one advantage I've seen on my Pixel 4 over my iPhone 11 Pro is when taking portrait shots. And to lose that on the Pixel 4a isn't the end of the world, but it would be nice to have. So let's continue on here. So it's also going to have a headphone jack. So it says there are a few new interesting details, like that its screen will get a slight bump. Oh, I didn't know that. Up to a 2340 by 1080 resolution compared to 2280 by 1080. So that's not a ton, which indicates a slightly taller aspect ratio. According to 9 to 5 Google's reporting. I'm sorry, guys. I always forget to make the screen bigger so you guys can kind of read along with me. So the Pixel 4a will have, I'm right here, guys. You can read along with an OLED screen like the Pixel 3a, which is still a rarity among other semi-affordable phones. The publication also says that it may ship in just 2 color variations, just black and barely blue. Have we seen what that blue color looks like for the Pixel 3a? I don't know if we have. I'm not going to lie, even though I'm not just a fan of just regular black, even just that little white there kind of, I'm like, that's not bad. I'll take that. It's kind of a nice minimalistic feel to it. So again, I do have a couple articles just talking about the Pixel 3a just to make sure we can go through all these articles and see that we're not missing any specs or missing any kind of other interesting details that might be coming out for this Pixel 4a. So this article from the Next Web says the Pixel 4a, Google's budget take on the Pixel 4. And I'm not going to read through this whole thing since we've already gone through the other two. So again, a 5.8 inch 2340 by 1080 screen, a Snapdragon 730, which I'm still unsure about. I've never actually used the Snapdragon 700 series to see how well it would be or to see how well it performs. Again, one of my concerns is lag. I mean, I am not the heaviest of users. I am not a gamer on my phone, but I do want to make sure that when I use a mobile phone or I use a phone, that I'm able to kind of just like interact with it really well with the UI, go through my apps and not experience lag. Because one of the frustrating things for me is having to switch back and forth from app to app and experiencing lag. That's not something that I've seen in my iPhone 11 Pro. It's not something that I've seen on my Pixel 4. And I don't know if that's something that's going to happen on the Pixel 4a, but well, the one point we missed here is this price point is probably going to be $399. That's my assumption. Oh, and here's another thing. So, okay, so this is a little weird. It says there is, however, no pixel neural core to help with image processing and AI tasks. I wasn't aware of that. So 64 gigs of internal storage and 128 gigs as well. 64 gigs is on the low end at this point. I mean, I guess if you're not using a bunch of video or taking a bunch of video or downloading a ton of apps, then 64 gigs might be right for you. But I would have loved to just see 128 gig base configuration at $400. That's a great deal. It's a super deal. 60, but how it's probably going to come out it'll be 64 gigs, $399, 128 gigs, $449. That's my assumption. Unless they start the price at $449, which I wouldn't be too excited about, but hopefully not. So the battery is pegged at 3080 milliamp hours, but there's no wireless charging, so keep that in mind. The camera will purportedly use a 12.2 megapixel primary sensor, okay, and then an 8 megapixel camera on the front. These seem to be nothing special, but as we know, the magic of Google's cameras is in the software. So again, apparently no XL model this time. Which lines up with previous rumors. But hey, the device will still come with a headphone jack. So again, that's nice as well. Still a weird thing for me to think that these flagship phones aren't going to have a headphone jack, but these mid-range ones can. I mean, just because I'm spending $1,000 on a flagship phone, right? Just because I'm spending 800 on a Pixel 4 or $1,000 on my iPhone 11 Pro doesn't mean I don't want a headphone jack. I mean, you're just going to assume that I'm going to go ahead and spend money on AirPods Pros. Like, yeah, I did. And they're really nice, but I'm saying, like, give us the option of a headphone jack, really. Like, it's not, we can debate about this all we want, but I don't see what the big deal is. Yeah, and then here we go with this. Again, people are leaking. Whoever leaked that, I mean, it's great to see. It's nice to know that it's on the way. Okay, so this article from Android Police says appallingly low res images of the Pixel 4a leak in a private Facebook group. Oh, that's where it came up, huh? They're sketchy, but they give us a first glimpse at the 4A's supposed fabric case. Really? Um, where is this? So this up? Oh, okay. The update just at the bottom. Private Facebook group strike again. This time with a picture of the Pixel 4A's retail box. There's nothing new here, but it confirms the shape of the rear camera element. You can also glean the fingerprint sensor. Oh, let's not forget about the fingerprint sensor too. It has that as well. Again, it is not. My Pixel 4 is the face recognition or the face unlock is good. I still don't think it's as great as my iPhone 11 Pro, and I've said this already in past streams, but it's great that the Pixel 4 has now included the face unlock to unlock your phone only when your eyes are open. It's a toggle. You have to toggle that on, which is still weird to me. That should just be a standard thing. I don't know why anybody would want to disable the function where your eyes are closed and it can unlock your phone. That toggle should always be on. But the way that the Pixel 4 works is your eyes have to be open for it to unlock, but it doesn't consistently scan for your face. So the difference, what I'm trying to say is on my iPhone 11 Pro with Face ID, I have to actually look at my iPhone 11 Pro for it to unlock. If the phone you guys can't see, it's not wide enough. If the phone is here and I'm looking this way, it's not going to unlock it, right? With my iPhone 11 Pro until I look at it. Then it will unlock it. It's continuously scanning to look for my face or to look for my eyes to look directly at. I feel weird describing it like this, but I'm just trying to be straight up on how it works. On my Pixel 4, if this was my Pixel 4 here, if it can see my eyes are open, it will unlock it even if I'm not looking at it. And let's say it doesn't detect it right away, it stops detecting it. It will not continuously look. I have to swipe up again or whatever, unlock and lock it, or lock it and unlock it for it to try again. And that's not, I mean, that's what Apple got right there. That's what Google didn't. I mean, I'm glad that Google added that option finally 5 months later, 6 months later, but it's still not as good as how the iPhone did it, which is now I'm kind of going back full circle here to the fingerprint reader and why I really liked it so much over what Google's done, because it's not refined yet. It isn't. I have the Chase app on my Pixel 4. I have other banking apps on my Pixel 4, and they can't use Face Unlock yet. I don't know if they're going to allow it. I don't know if third party apps or whatever are going to allow it. But my iPhone 11 Pro, it uses Face ID for all my banking stuff. And it's an inconvenience. And with a fingerprint reader, which is what they're going to put in the Pixel 4a, we could have avoided all of that until Google decided to perfect it. If that was going to be for the Pixel 5 or who knows, it's not there yet. I know that's kind of a rant because we're talking about the Pixel 4a here, but I got to add my 2 cents in. And yeah, I did forget about that. Let's not forget about the fingerprint sensor that's in this phone. So, well, and then this last one I have here is from 9 to 5 Google, I guess, who maybe unlocked or who broke the story here. But let's see. So the basics, 5.81 inches. So it's an OLED FHD plus panel, again with a better resolution. So this Snapdragon 730 clocks in at 2.2 gigahertz. Oh, well, So it says here 8 cores, 6 of which operate at 1.8, 2 high-performance cores clocking at 2.2, with an integrated GPU, which is a Adreno 618. Like last year, the Pixel 4a will have Google's own Titan M security chip, but also like last year, the Pixel neural core will not be found inside, which again, I wasn't aware of until now. until now. It'll have fast charging, USB-C. So again, there's going to be no wireless charging here. We're told video recording will be identical to the Google Pixel 4, 1080p at 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second. 720, sorry, 720p at 240 frames per second. So slow-mo at 720p, and then 4K at 30. No 4K at 60. Many of the software features you've come to expect from Pixel are also present. So there's now playing, the new Google Assistant that first made its debut on the Pixel 4, and Android updates for 3 years. Some final details you might want to know. Again, a 3.5mm headphone jack. It'll work with all carriers, come in 2 colors, or at least 2. Again, I want to see what this barely blue is supposed to look like. We're not sure on the much leaked white model, but depending on how barely blue the model is, what is with their naming conventions for colors? I just don't understand. Barely blue, like clearly white. I don't, who's the marketing people behind it? Just not the, I don't know. Little things. It's the little things. So again, a $399 price point. Let's actually talk about that price point real quick before I end this whole Pixel 4a thing. So the Google Pixel 4a, not the best performance, right? Because we're using a Snapdragon 730 processor. It's going to have 6 gigs of RAM, which is nice, 64 gigs of internal storage, which isn't the biggest, but it's going to have a great camera, and it's going to have also a great fingerprint scanner in the rear, which is like my ideal way of having a fingerprint scanner, at $399. But let's not forget that the iPhone SE is also coming down the pipeline, and that's probably going to price at $399 as well. The difference, I guess, with the iPhone SE is you're going to have an older design. You're going to have the iPhone 8 design with big ass bezels in the front, on the top and the bottom. You're going to have a home button with Touch ID on the front, which might be a deterrent for some people, but the iPhone SE is going to include the A13 Bionic chip. So it's going to have better performance than what you're going to find on the Google Pixel 4a at the same price point. We don't know what the camera is going to be, though. That's the big question. If the camera, here's my, and I've said this before, and these are my thoughts on it. If the iPhone SE is going to have this old iPhone 8 design, but it's going to have the A13 Bionic chip for performance, and it's going to have the camera, if the rear camera is going to be the main shooter from the iPhone 11, I think that's going to be the better phone. For $399, I think it'll be the better phone. It might not look as modern, it might not look as nice as what the Pixel 4a is going to look like, but if your priorities are performance and camera, I mean, you can argue with me on the Pixel 4 taking better pictures than the iPhone 11, but I've done a good amount of testing, and more times than not, the iPhone 11 Pro, my iPhone 11 Pro has beat the Pixel 4 in almost every category except portrait mode. And here's the other thing, which I was just saying about portrait mode. In portrait mode, a big reason that it's helped is because of that second camera on the Pixel 4, and you're not going to get that with the Pixel 4a. So you're going to miss out on having that as an advantage. Again, you have your choices. I'm just saying, if this Pixel 4a comes out before the iPhone SE, I would wait. I would wait first and see what camera the iPhone SE is actually going to come out with, because if a camera is if a camera is your priority in buying a phone, I'd hold off and I'd wait and at least see people doing tests for the Pixel 4a and the iPhone SE, and then judge for yourself. Because if performance is even more important to you, wait, because the Snapdragon 730 isn't going to outperform the Apple's A13 chip at all. There's no way. We know that for a fact. And we know that almost, I think for a fact, that that's the chip that's coming into the iPhone SE. And then we almost, I guess here we know for a fact it's what's coming for the Pixel 4a. Again, $399. It's 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 still a good amount of money, right? I mean, most people now are spending their money. They're not spending $1,000 on a phone. They want to get the best that they can get for a couple $100. So yeah, use that money wisely. Kind of do your research before you just plunk the money down on a Pixel 4a because you think it's going to have the best camera and the best, I don't know, performance at that price point, and it probably won't. I mean, there are other things to consider too. You can think about the OnePlus 7T, right? I think the OnePlus 7T is going for $399 right now, if I'm not mistaken. Or it probably will be, or it might be cheaper when the OnePlus 8 comes out. And the OnePlus 7T is no slouch. It doesn't have the best camera, but it has the best of everything else, right? It's going to have awesome performance. It's going to have great battery life. Again, things to consider when you're looking at that $400 price point. There are a lot of options there. You just got to weigh it out. All right. Lots of talk. So let me kind of get into chat and say hi to everybody. Again, for everybody who stopped by, thank you for making the stream. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate you guys coming into chat and chatting with all of us. Yeah, that's it. let me look into this chat real quick. So let's see here. Okay, all you guys are here. Great. Love seeing you. Kyle, I see Kyle here too. Hey, Kyle, welcome to the chat. Welcome back, man. Nice to see you again. The 730 is better than the mediocre 600 series they used last year. That's good to know. I actually wasn't aware how well these two did. Surprised they didn't go with the 710 or 712 last year, which kept me from buying it. So at least, right, this is a good upgrade. It's a good upgrade to see the 730. Enforce, yo. Yo, Enforce, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Glad you made it. I can't remember if you've been in here before, but if it's your first time, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you stopping by. Let's see here. Yeah, so Enforce says, but that 3080 milliamp hours might put me off. Yeah, that's not a ton of battery. I guess also maybe the 730 is better at saving battery. Maybe it's not as power hungry. I really don't know the efficiency on how a lot of this stuff is going to do. So I don't know. Mint Arcade. Hi. Hey, Mint Arcade. My hand was not. Hey, Mint Arcade. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back, man. How you doing? How's it going? Appreciate you stopping by. So let's see. I see Nick Bots. Any kind of quick charge, anything close to warp charge? No. If I saw this correctly, I think they were just talking about 18-watt fast charging, which is not. It's not 18 watts is, yeah, it's faster, but it's not super fast. So I wouldn't. Nothing close to warp charging at all. I wouldn't say anything like that. Mint Arcade says, also, I would like to chip in. That would be the best time for companies to adopt a 2-year cycle, 1 year mid-range, 1 year flagship, as it is the year over year increments. It's no longer groundbreakingly improved. Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's actually, I've never thought about that. And that's actually a really cool idea to kind of, yeah, 1 year it's a flagship, 1 year it's a mid-range. It's not a bad idea. It really isn't. And it kind of gives people the option to, I mean, maybe it might, I guess, throw some people off because they're like, well, I don't want to wait for, so I'm just going to get this instead. But it's actually not a bad idea. But you're also right. A lot of this stuff isn't groundbreaking anymore. It's one of the reasons I'm not as pumped up about tech as I used to be, because a lot of this stuff is the same. Every year we get the same hype. It's going to have this. Look at these specs. It's going to be, and then it comes out and it's like, it's okay. It's not worlds better or anything like that. It's nothing that I've, it's not something I'm going to break my wallet up for. So, let's see here. Jerome, the color naming was to mock another brand's color schemes. I can't remember which company. I heard it from Twit. Oh, I remember Twit. I haven't listened to Twit in a while. Yeah, actually, I wonder where that's from. When you do find out, let me know. I'm actually curious. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to be able to go through all this chat. George says, maybe that'll mean I'll actually get the 5 this year. I have stuck with the A due to the price, though. The OnePlus 8 may cancel out everything else. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, the OnePlus 8 is also another phone to consider. I just don't know what price point that's going to be. If the OnePlus 8 comes out at $600, it'll be a pretty competitive phone for what it is and what it will have. Again, I am not too keen on the camera. I've told people this. I said it yesterday. Don't hold your breath, especially for the OnePlus 8 Pro. I don't think the camera is going to be worlds above. Maybe it will. I would love to be proven wrong. I actually have a tweet, and maybe that's what I'll talk about next before we get into the other stories. But I just don't know how well the OnePlus 8 Pro is going to perform camera wise. I think that's been OnePlus's biggest crutch for a while. But yeah, I don't know. Nick says Pixel and best performance don't belong in the same sentence. I mean, it's hard not to give it's hard not to give Google flack lately because they've been dropping the ball on a lot of things. I haven't been I haven't been um I haven't been too disappointed with the performance on my Pixel. It does everything I need it to do. It might not do everything more heavy users might need to do with it, especially with not as much RAM and all that kind of stuff. But it's worked fine for me. I just for the Pixel 4 again, there were a lot of little things that they could have done to make it better. They could have fixed the battery. Face unlock could have been done better. There were other things that could have been implemented in a better way. The whole motion sense thing I think was too not it was too early for adoption. Something that would have been nice, I guess, I don't know, just something more refined is what I was waiting for. Apple has done a great job at refining their stuff and making sure things actually work pretty well, and I can't knock them on that. And it doesn't mean that these companies who keep bringing out new stuff want to do new technology. And I mean, I love all that. I love new technology. I love new features. It's all good and well, but when I'm paying $800 for a phone and I feel like it wasn't worth my $800, that's not the best feeling. It really isn't. It's kind of like a gut punch where it's like, I spent so much money and I am not impressed at all. Keystone Tech, Keystone in the building. Hey, what's up, Keystone? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Okay, let's see. Keystone Tech says watching you on my Pixel 3a. Hope that's coming out well. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. So Keystone Tech says LG is going to get better. Yeah, I'm waiting. I have a couple articles. I want to talk about that and see how that's gonna be. So yeah, he also says the Pixel 5 looks good. So okay. All right, guys, let's kind of move on here. Mint Arcade said it was to mock the iPhone XR. Huh. Okay. All right. Oh, I see. Oh God, there's other names in here. Gar Trigger says Pixel 4a will have a 128 gig variant. Gar, first of all, welcome to the stream. Thanks for making it. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, actually, they're saying it's going to have a 64 gig storage option and 128 gig storage option. That 128 gig storage option, as I was saying, if the Pixel 4a prices in at $399, then the 128 will probably be $449. I would hate to see them just bump it up to $499. I don't want to see them bump it up $100 more. Hopefully it's just $50 more for the 128 gig variant, unless the Pixel 4a prices in at $449, which I hope it does not. But if the Pixel 4a starts at $449 at 64 gigs, then I'm assuming the 128 gigs will be $499. But hopefully they don't go that route. I don't want to see them go that route. Mike Schneider, welcome to the stream, man. I don't think I've seen your name here before, but if it's your first time, I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for making it. My brother and I did the V60 BOGO on Verizon, and I've been extremely happy with it. We essentially got them for $475 a piece, which is a great deal, in my opinion, for people who will stay on their carrier. That's a great point. I read an article a couple of days ago on my stream about the V60. It was somebody's review on it, and they had great things to say. They said it was pretty balanced for what it was. Again, I am not a carrier person, but at $475, that's a great deal. That really is a great deal for what it comes with, and you were able to take advantage of that buy one get one free deal. I mean, I can't fault you for that. Especially, and so you were saying $475 a piece. That's how I am right now. I am done spending $1,000 on a phone. I'm done spending that much money on a phone. $500 is my top top line of what I want to spend on a phone. And the next phone I buy, I want to try to get the best deal I can for $500. That's really what I want out of it. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for again joining the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. So let's continue here. Let's kind of segue into LG. I think it's a good segue into it. So this article from ZDNet, this is not actually the publication I wanted to start with, but that's fine because I have a bunch of other LG stories, all similar stories. Again, I just pull all of these up without reading them just to piece everything together and see what we're looking at here. So this article from ZDNet talks about LG teases design rendering of the next flagship smartphone. It'll shed the G moniker that consumers have come to associate with LG's flagship smartphones. So we talked about this last week, how LG, there were reports that LG was going to completely discontinue the G lineup, and then there was no real talk about what was coming next for it. So this is, I guess, a rendering of what it would be like. I did get a quick synopsis, and they were talking about this raindrop kind of design, which actually isn't a bad idea, where they take it goes in descending order. So the biggest sensor or whatever, the biggest camera goes on top, and then smaller, smaller, smaller. LG Electronics unveiled the design rendering of its. Sorry, let me put this bigger for you guys. LG Electronics unveiled the design rendering of its upcoming flagship smartphone on Thursday, with the device expected to be launched in South Korea next month. Oh, I didn't know it was going to be that soon. The new model has what LG calls a falling raindrops design, where its 3 rear cameras and LED flash are placed in descending order by size. The main camera will sit above the surface, while the remaining 2 cameras will be under the cover glass to avoid the camera bumps. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The sides of the phone will be symmetrically curved, the company added. LG has yet to announce the official specifications of the new handset, but previously said it would be a quote mass premium model, hinting at the device being launched at a more affordable price range compared to other vendors' flagship smartphones. It sounds like a la Oneplus, right? The new smartphone will also bear a new name, shedding the G branding that has been used for the company's flagship smartphone since 2013. Earlier this week, LG said operating profits are expected to be 1.1 trillion won for the first quarter, which would be a rise of 21.1% year on year. We don't need to go through all that. Okay, yeah, so that's just a quick synopsis. Let's kind of move on here. This article from Android Central says LG's next high-end phone will have a, quote, raindrop camera, curved edges. So LG's upcoming V series flagship phones will likely use the same design language, which is actually a good point to make too. So LG has revealed a new minimalistic design language for its upcoming smartphone. Key highlights of the new design include a raindrop camera and front to back symmetrical curves. The phone will also offer a more natural feeling in the hand thanks to the new 3D arc design. So I don't think we got a lot of detail on that. So let's see if we can find out what they're talking about here. For the last few years, LG hasn't made significant changes to the design of its flagship phones. Even though the number of cameras on the back has increased, the design language has remained mostly unchanged. The company's next phone, however, will feature a completely new design. I'm glad to see LG putting some thought into it. I know LG gets a lot of flack. Will, someone that I talk to a lot, will always say that LG is kind of missing their mark because they're not really in that whole marketing department. Nobody's really talking much about it. I have my own thoughts on LG. I've owned a couple LG phones. I think my first LG was an LG G5, and then I had the successors, I think a year and 2 years after that. And I really wasn't as impressed. I like the G5 because it was different than, it had the removable battery. I actually didn't mind the UI at all because it was cleaner. I think that's changed now, and I don't know if the UI is the best UI I've seen or that people talk about, but so it says here, our upcoming smartphone will draw on the rich history of classic LG designs, which have always been distinctive at first touch. This handset will be a first look at the competitive edge we will be bringing to every LG smartphone going forward. Okay. I mean, I read these things, I just want to see it. I just want to see what you guys really have in store. LG says its new design language is a quote nod to the natural world with a visual form factor that is quite different from the current industry trend. While a large number of high-end smartphones released this year have a large squarish camera bump at the rear, the upcoming LG smartphone will have a raindrop camera, which actually I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see somebody do something else than put another square in the back. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but we keep following the same design language from one company, and I would love for we I sit here and I talk about innovation and doing something different, and I mean, this is not, you know, there's obviously more things to worry about in this world than where we put the cameras, but really, let's stop copying everyone else. Okay, so as can be seen clearly in the render above, the phone will have three cameras in the upper left corner, arranged in descending order by size, evoking, quote, images of falling raindrops. The LED flash will be positioned right below the triple camera array. So, okay, so the LED flash right there. LG says the raindrop camera design not only takes up less space on the back of the phone, but also offers a cleaner look. I can't argue with that. It doesn't look bad at all. I would like to see it not in a render, but I mean, I can see where they're going with it. Along with the raindrop camera, the new design language incorporates what LG is calling the quote 3D arc design. The edges of the display, as well as the rear panel, will be symmetrically curved, ensuring a more natural feeling in the hand compared to the company's previous devices. Again, all well and good. I would love to I would love to get my hands on one just to see what they're really talking about. Um, I feel like my iPhone kind of has that curvedness to it. I don't know if that's kind of where they're going with it. I'm not sure. While LG hasn't confirmed it yet, the device seen in the above renders could be the LG G8 successor. The upcoming flagship phone is rumored to be powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G chipset and could be launched on May 15th. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so we're talking about another 700 series phone here. So probably another mid-range price. Are we talking about another $400 phone, $500 phone? Because I'd be curious to see what what it would have, what it would offer. So this article by The Verge, again, just to see if we can find anything else to add into this whole LG talk, is LG flagship phones over the past couple of years have all looked extremely similar. Good luck picking out the G7, V40, G8, V. That's all. These are a lot of phones. V50, G8X, G8X, or the V60 from a lineup, unless you have a photographic memory for their number of cameras. The company appears to be changing things up for an upcoming device, which it says will use an altogether new design language. Okay, we've read all of these. Samsung said much the same thing about the ill-fated Galaxy Note 7. For example, while Xiaomi has made similar claims in the past, so they're talking about this symmetrical curve thing here. No other details of the phone itself are available, but it sounds like LG will apply this design language throughout its range. Yeah, we've read this before. Okay, so May 15th. So I mean, this is May 15th for a Snapdragon 700 series LG phone with a new design, maybe a decent price between $400 and $600. This is a very busy market now. This mid-range market is a very busy market because, again, and I was just talking about this in the tech chat that I'm in. Who's buying $1,000 phone right now? Right now is not the best time to be spending that much money on a phone. I mean, do what you want with your money. Don't let me be the person that says you can't buy whatever. But I don't think a lot of people are thinking about spending $1,000 on a phone today with what's going on and everything like that. Um, I don't know if people want to be spending $500 on a phone right now, but it is nice to see that companies are. Uh, I I'm torn. I'm torn about it because I think companies are able to give us the best and not price it at such ridiculous, like grossly inflated prices. But if they want to go ahead and section the market out and show us what they can give us at $500, by all means do it. Show me what you can, because that's my price point. You're talking at this point when people are talking about these phones, you're talking to me. You're talking to me about what you can give me for $500, and I'd love to see it. So, okay, I think that's all I have for LG. There's not much else. I mean, there are a couple other stories I'm going to talk about here, but I'm not going to go too in depth. So, okay, what have I missed? One C2 or one creative or one I can't I don't know how to properly pronounce that, but hey, welcome to the chat, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Again, welcome to the stream. Apple gonna knock out the fuck out of Google's Pixel 4a with the upcoming iPhone SE. So that's kind of what I've been saying, but I feel like they will only do that if the camera sorry, my phone's going off, guys. I feel like they're only going to do that if the camera on the iPhone SE is going to be from the iPhone 11. I still think it's going to sell great no matter what camera they put in it, but I would want what I want. And I've said, I don't know. I feel like I'm just day after day on these streams. I'm just going to repeat how I feel, and that's fine because whatever. I'm just going to get my message out there. The iPhone SE will be a great phone if it comes out with this A13 Bionic chip, which is already reported to have, but it will be an even greater phone if it has the main shooter from the iPhone 11. Yes, it's going to have an old design, but it's tried and true and it works well. That's how I feel about it. You put your price at $399, it's going to be hard to beat. It's going to be hard to beat. Guard Trigger says iPhone will have a 256 gig variant. They will. They will. Too bad Google doesn't do that much storage. And why don't they? Why doesn't Google put a 256 gig option? Why is that not a thing? Is it so that we pay money for Google One? Google One, if you guys aren't familiar with, it's that service where you can pay for cloud storage, and I pay for it. I think I pay $20 a year for their to keep 1 terabyte of data on the cloud. I think it's 1 terabyte of data. I could be wrong. I don't think it's that much. No, it's way less than 1 terabyte. But I pay $20 a year for whatever it is, 100 gigs. I can't remember. Mike says LG could work on the software. I completely agree. It's good, but the little things are forgotten. It hasn't been the worst, but refinement is needed. Completely agree. Here's a little fact that I'm sharing with you guys now, but I recently spent some money on an LG G7 One. I don't know if a lot of people know about that phone, but that's an Android One phone that has stock Android on it because I am a big fan of stock Android. I've said this before, but I don't think I'm going to be buying any future Android phones at this point unless it's going to have stock Android. I mean, that could change. Oneplus is definitely one of those companies that could change my mind about that. But yeah, I got that LG G7 One I got it for under $100 shipped. It might be a new series I might be working on, seeing what I could buy at like really good deals with like stock Android. And again, what I'm trying to do at this point is I want to see if I can show people what you could do for your money, right? I as much as I want to buy the next iPhone, as much as I want to buy the Pixel 5, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to have the money for it because for you guys that don't know me, I work freelance, right? I'm a freelance photographer. I'm a freelance videographer. I do YouTube to try to pay the bills, but that's a joke. That's not a thing at all. So I want to see what you can get for the money. That's where I'm going with it. Chad says, good day, Jerome. I think that the smartphone market has plateaued. I agree. I really do. Chad, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. I feel the same way. I've talked about this with friends and everything before, but sometimes I get bored of it because every time a new phone comes out, I'm like, okay, well, it sounds like the same thing again. And is it going to be that much better? When perfect example is when the S20 came out, I was reading about the specs. It was like going to have a huge sensor for the camera, all this great stuff. And then it comes out and then I'm looking at some of these like review pictures and I was like, okay, like, I don't think this is going to beat my 11 Pro. And even if it does, is it going to be that good? I mean, and then we find out it has autofocus issues, or at least the S20 Ultra did. I don't know how it compares with my iPhone 11 Pro or my Pixel 4, but I don't have the money to buy one, and I really don't want to spend the money to find out. At least not now. Not now. If it was up to me, yeah, I would do photo comparison videos all day. I love doing those. That's something I enjoy doing. Plus, it's just fun to do. But at the prices phones are going for now, can't do it. Anyway, Chad, welcome to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. let's see here. Allegedly, the G in the Snapdragon 700 series is optimized for gaming. Allegedly, right? Yeah, that's why there's a 730G or 735G or whatever it is, 765G. How well it does, yeah, I don't know. You're right though. Allegedly. Um, so let's see here. Oh, Will. Will says, "Can can everyone hit the like button?" Yeah, I forget. I always forget to kind of. I'm not the best at kind of marketing myself here, but guys, if you're new, if you haven't, please feel free to hit that like button. I do appreciate it. It does help me a lot in what I do. I'm not the biggest tech YouTuber in the world, but I feel like I have a different perspective, and I like to share that. I've told people who know me, I don't watch a lot of other YouTubers. I don't watch a lot of YouTuber doing tech videos because I kind of stay away from that because I feel like if I do too much of that, then just everyone kind of starts spitting out the same stuff because they keep watching the same stuff. And I like to have my own perspective. So I do things in a different way. You guys can see that with my older videos. You can see that with like the stupid shit I do with Arnold. Anyway, yeah, if you guys haven't, feel free to like. You guys can also check me out on Instagram and on Twitter at Phone Jerome. I'm very active on both of those channels, and you can message me and we can talk and whatever. But yeah, so I do appreciate I do appreciate that. Will, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate you being here too. Keystone says, Kyle, I hate that shit. Let me know how dumb you. It's okay. I don't even know. I'll skip that for now. So, oh, Nick with the $1.99 super sticker. Hey, Nick, thanks so much, man. I actually can't see what that sticker is because I don't have my, but I'll check it later in the replay. Nick, thanks so much for the support. I do appreciate that. That really does mean a lot to me. Yeah, guys, super chat's open. Again, this is not my thing. I hate asking for, but I appreciate the support. It does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much, Nick. Thanks a lot. So Chad says here, I think the price points are going to come down like in the past. The newest feature is the oldest one now, and we see this reflect stronger mid ranges. Yeah, I love that. I love to see them coming back down to like reality and saying, hey, we're not going to spend $1,000 for a phone. We're not going to spend we're not going to spend $1,400 for a phone. Like, are you out of your mind? Especially now, today, who's going to be spending that much money on a phone? Who really is? It's crazy. It's crazy. So, okay, let's move on here, guys. Actually, let's kind of move on to this tweet here. So I wanted to talk about this tweet. Actually, Will is the one that brought this tweet up to me. Pete Lau, who's the CEO of Oneplus, he tweeted this yesterday, and the first thing he said, ultra wide that can get ultra close. And so by that he meant an ultra wide camera. When he said ultra wide that can get ultra close, I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about. That doesn't make any sense to me. One side here was taken with a OnePlus 8 Pro, the other with another flagship phone, and then in quote or in parentheses, I think you can probably tell which is which. So obviously he's touting the OnePlus 8 Pro's camera, which is great. I mean, go ahead. You want to throw some shade at a company, do it if you can prove that you can. And I mean, for the most part, I see it here. I see where he's going here. So this picture that he posted is a pretty good picture compared to this one. So he's throwing shade at this picture here because this picture, but these are ultra wide cameras, right? He's comparing two ultra wide cameras. And if you're not sure what he's talking about, I'm pretty sure he's talking about the ultra wide camera on the iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 11 Pro Max, whatever. So obviously, yes, this is actually, this kind of looks, I mean, it's nice, but it's also a little overdone, in my opinion. It's a little overdone. Is it the better shot? I mean, yeah, I could say that. I could say it's clearer, but it's still a little soft. It's still soft in some spots. And you guys could be like, but Jerome, it's a night shot. It's not going to be perfect. I get that. I totally get that. So I give them props for adding a night mode, right? For adding a night mode to the OnePlus 8 Pro. And we'll see it here too in this shot. So here's the OnePlus 8 Pro. And then here's what I'm assuming is the iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro. Again, yeah, a brighter shot. It is clearer, which I'm more about, is the focus good? Is it clear? Is the detail nice? And yeah, I mean, again, it's still a little soft on the edges, But I replied to this tweet. I did. And I said right here, props that ultra wide can get night mode, right? So props to these two shots for getting night mode. Uh, Shots are still looking soft, to be quite honest with you. But and here's my point. But where is the side by side of night mode with the main shooters? That's what most of us snap with. Let's see the real players at work. And I stand by that statement. I really do. I think that again, is this a good shot? Yeah, it's a good shot for a night shot. Compared to this, I mean, this looks more natural. Yes, right? It does look more natural, but you want to talk about maybe a little more clarity, a little more focus, sure. But again, the point I'm getting at here is, Pete, you want to talk about this ultra wide camera, which is great that you have an ultra wide camera. You want to talk about night mode, great. Show us what the main shooter is going to look like at night. You want to show us a comparison? Show us what this can compare to on an iPhone 11, on an iPhone 11 Pro. You want us to buy your next OnePlus 8? You want to price it, or you want us to buy your OnePlus 8 Pro? You want to price it well? You want to give us all these features, which I'm not taking away. You guys make some excellent phones with some great build quality, with some of the best performance I've seen on an Android phone. You've managed to make someone like me, who only buys stock Android phones, to kind of second guess and be like, hey, this one's pretty close to stock and it does a couple things better. Has awesome wired charging, and now you're going to offer like super fast wireless charging. All of those things are great, and you price it at a great price. But the camera is still, and I've said this, day shots are great. I can take great day shots with a $200 camera phone all day. I mean, I can. If you guys don't believe me, take a look at some of my older photo comparison videos with just the Moto G7 that I did. $200 phone. It was 180 at the time when I didn't buy it. Mike bought it, who lent it to me. But day shots, fine. Night shots is a different story. Why are you? I'm glad you showed us this, but show us what the main shooter can do at night. That's what I want to see. Most of us aren't shooting in ultra wide every single shot. Most of us are shooting with our normal main shooter. That's what I want to see. Show me that. Again, props to you guys for putting out some good shit, but I want to see the real meat and potatoes of like your camera. And I'm afraid that you're not showing it to us because that night mode is still better on the iPhone 11. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe you're going to blow all of us out of the water, and then you're going to price the OnePlus 8 Pro at $850, and we're all going to be blown away. But until I see it, I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, so that's it. That's really all I wanted to share with this specific tweet. I thought it was interesting, and again, it's a marketing thing, right? You want to show off your cameras. I love that, but show me really what I'm going to be using my camera with the most. Show me the main shooter. Show me what you can do in night mode. Compare it to an iPhone 11 Pro. You want to beat Apple? This is your chance to do it on Twitter, unless you have something to hide and you don't want to show it because you know what those real results are going to be. And hopefully not, but we'll see. Okay. Moving on here, guys. I don't have a lot. The hour is almost coming up. I don't know really what I want to talk. I only have 3 more stories. So let's go with this Engadget thing. So Engadget has a story here that says next year's emoji update will be delayed by 6 months. You can probably guess why. Coronavirus. So I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I use emojis all the time. One of my favorite things to do. It's part of my daily thing now when I talk to people. I think a lot of us communicate in that. I'm not heartbroken, guys. It's not the end of the world, but I felt like I'd share the story. So let's kind of go into it. While this year's crop of new emoji is set and ready to go, the coronavirus pandemic has pushed the Unicode consortium to delay version 14 by about 6 months. That's a long time before we get some new emojis. I'm always excited to see what new ones are out there. And I love actually, why I love getting new emojis is I love when they come out and then other phones haven't gotten them yet. And then I like to send it. And then they're like, what did you send me? Then they'll send me a screenshot with a bunch of boxes. And I'm like, This is why you should have got a stock Android, because if you had stock Android, you would have had the update. You would have had the new emojis by now. And now I'm just going to send you a bunch of emojis that you're not going to get, and you're going to have no idea what the fuck I'm giving you. It's kind of bragging, right? And it's kind of like I told you so kind of talk, but I don't know. Obviously, there's a little joking in there, and then there's a little truth to that. But current conditions have upended development and projects around the world, and it's easy to see that on the list of priorities to address first. The various parties behind the standard have more pressing things to deal with. Consortium President Mark Davis said in a statement that this year we simply can't commit to the same schedule we've adhered to in the past. Instead of a full update, the notice mentions that the consortium is considering a 13.1 update in the meantime, based on emoji sequences that combine existing characters, so could hit phones in 2021. That's it. That's my emoji story. There really wasn't much to it. You know what? Okay, let me do one more story, guys. I don't know. Maybe most of you don't care about emojis. I do. I like them. I also like to show them off when they come out to phones before others do. So this other story I have here from Android community is titled "Hangouts Meet may be rebranded to Google Meet because Google just doesn't know how to stop um, doing things wrong. So they're just going to keep renaming, keep stopping services, keep making new ones, keep making people second guess if they should support certain apps or add anything to it because they don't know if it's going to last. Now that a lot of people are working from home and are in need of video conferencing, obviously, guys, I'm being sarcastic. Google has probably dropped the ball on making their drop the ball. Here we go on making their Hangouts Meet more relevant. It is there and can be used by G Suite users, but there seems to be some branding problems, and so Google may not be pushing it as aggressively as they should be. While there is no rebranding just yet, the header and title of the support site now just says Google Meet. This change is not really that surprising as we knew that Hangouts as a brand was nearing its end date. The consumer-facing Hangout service is still there, but barely hanging on and will be eventually shut down. Who is using Hangouts right now? Are you guys still using Hangouts? Because if you're using Hangouts, you need to switch. I have friends that I converted to Hangouts a long time ago, and they will not switch because they're just so used to it. And I hate that because I want them to switch. I use Telegram now. Telegram is like my go-to messaging service. I love Telegram. I use it all the time, and if people don't have it, I tell people to use it because I just think it's a great. It does so many things. I need to make a video. I need to make a higher end production video that shows why Telegram is so good. Hangouts hasn't been updated in 6 months, over half a year. Hangouts hasn't been updated in that long, and they updated it. They updated it recently, but they updated it to take out a feature. So that's the only reason they updated Hangouts in the first place. That's the only reason, which is like I wish Google would do things right. Google Duo is apparently a great video conferencing service now, but Google Duo doesn't have chat in there. Why are they not combining these things together anymore? Why did they take the entire Hangouts that was such a great service and then completely abandon it? They could have done so many great things to it, and now I've moved to Telegram because I just don't trust Google the same way I used to, which is unfortunate to say. Google's turned into this big profit, for-profit company that, and I get it, guys. People need to make their money. Don't get me wrong. I get that. But there has to be some kind of trust between the consumer and the company. I mean, at least Apple knows that when they use iMessage, they know that iMessage isn't going to go anywhere. They don't have to worry that in 2 months or 6 months or a year from now, they're going to stop updating it or they're going to abandon it completely. And that's how I feel about Hangouts. So it says here, Android Police says that the transition from Hangouts Meet to just Google Meet is a move to disassociate itself from the negative baggage that comes with the Hangouts brand. Google, you did this to yourself. You did it to yourself. It may also confuse consumers and business users, although the rebranding might just do that as well. Google does not know how to keep their shit in line. They don't. They do not. I am a huge, huge, huge Google fan, and they still cannot get a lot of their stuff right. And I just don't understand. There's such a great company that has kind of lost their ways in a lot of things. I mean, I don't know. But for now, only G Suite users will be able to use Hangouts Meet or Google Meet, right? So not nobody even has access to that unless you have. I mean, I use Google Suite, but I don't use any of these services because nobody else does. They do, and even if I wanted them to use it, I can't. I can't let them because they have to be part of my domain or whatever, and that's not how this works. They do have a 14-day free trial for G Suite, but the way things are going now, we're probably going to need more than 14 days to stay at home and work through video conferencing calls. That's great, Google. I'm glad that you're offering this service, but I think it's a little too too little too late is what I was trying to say. Maybe when they completely get their shit right, where they can have a messaging service that does text and video and audio and I don't know, puts it all together in one nice little package and we know that they're not going to drop it. Wonderful. Sign me up. I will try it out. But for now, I don't know. I don't really know. Okay, guys, that actually might be it for today. So, oh God, I have a couple super chats here. So I have one from Brian. Brian with the dollar super chat. Brian, thank you so much, man. I love how you give me these super chats and you don't even have any text in there. You don't want anything to say that I can read out to you. But but Brian, again, thank you so much for the support. Brian, if you guys don't know, is a huge supporter. He's here on almost every stream, and he's always real active. And I do thank him for always supporting, and it does mean a lot to me. And then Mike here too with the $2 super chat. Also, nothing to say, Mike. Mike, thank you for the $2 super chat. I do appreciate it. It does, again, it does mean a lot to me. It goes a long way. Especially for what I do and how I do things. I like to keep things very straightforward and just kind of be real with how I feel about tech. And I appreciate you guys supporting me so that I can do that. I see Daniel here too. I haven't been able to hang out since I got quarantined. Yeah, a lot of us, Daniel. Daniel, thanks for making the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Yeah, so that's let me just go through this too. So Daniel says Google does a really bad job promoting or explaining how to use their stuff. How much we have to read between the lines as YouTubers prove enough. Yeah, that's so true. Google does a lot of things right, and they do a lot of things that need a lot of work. And I don't know, their team just has to get some of their shit together. And whenever that's going to happen, I don't know. I'm hoping soon, but a lot of that has to be seen. I have been the biggest supporter of Google for a long time, and slowly but surely that's kind of diminishing. And I hate to say that, but yeah, I see Mint Arcade super chat not available in my region. Mint Arcade, don't worry about it, man. I appreciate you just coming by. Again, just coming by to support means a lot to me. Again, guys, if any of you are new here, this is something I do. I'm a freelance photographer, videographer, and hopes to be more of a bigger YouTuber. But even these small YouTuber communities, I think it's nice to have a small community where we can engage, where we can talk. And I've said this before, I don't know everything about tech, but I do appreciate you guys stopping by so we can kind of read over the news, learn about stuff, engage in the chat, talk about things that we normally wouldn't talk about. Hackney, man, I've seen you come here before, yeah? I know I've seen that name. What's up from London? What's up from Chicago? How's it going, Hackney, man? I'm so sorry. I'm about to end this stream. But I do appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't, feel free to check the replay. That's for everybody in here too. If you guys are a little late, replay crew, feel free to check that out. And again, if you guys haven't, please feel free to like this video. It does help in the algorithm somehow, some way. It might help me get seen more, might help people to come in and find out that there's a YouTuber who likes tech, who is actually trying to say something real and not trying to bow down to these big companies, because that's not how I work. If you guys seen in my past videos, I like to tell it how it is. So anyway, guys, yeah, I do stream. Thank you, Will, for reminding me. I do stream daily from Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Central. So you can check me again tomorrow. I'll be here at 12 p.m. I'll bring up a couple things, a couple news articles. We'll talk about it. We'll go through it. But also, Will says that too. I also stream Friday nights with Will and Mike and George. These are other guys that stop in my chat a lot too. And we do something called Friday Night Tech Talk. So check that out. I'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about that too. But anyway, that should be it, guys. I do appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much. Again, tomorrow we'll talk more tech news, and I think that's it. I think there's nothing else to talk about here. So tomorrow, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I think that's it. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care. Bye now.